Hello and welcome to Scottish Car Enthusiasts and Trains TV. And in this episode, we're going to discuss the Citroen C4 Cactus at 5,000 miles. So, just before Christmas 2022, Twister the Cactus clicked over to 5,000 miles in my ownership. So I thought I would just do a brief ownership report since I bought it in April. So on the 22nd of April 2022, I picked the Cactus up at Arnold Clark in Seafield in Edinburgh, after seeing the car advertised on the Arnold Clark website. So initially the car was actually at Clydebank, and I bought the car sight unseen, so basically I'd seen it on the internet, I hadn't seen it in the flesh, and a couple of days later it got delivered over to Arnold Clark in Seafield. One thing that I really hated about the Cactus was the wheel trims, and 6 days after purchasing the car, I found some Cactus alloys going cheap, and these were fitted in May 2022. There's been two issues after picking the car up. The first one was an oil leak, and also the front discs were warped. So Arnold Clark tightened up the sump plug, and my local Farmers Auto Care changed the discs and pads after I'd covered 1,115 miles in the car since June 2022. After another 1,700 miles, I noticed that the CV boot on the passenger side had split, and after 3 attempts by my local Farmers Auto Care to clip it back on, it had to have a replacement CV boot fitted. The next issue I've had with the Cactus was at 3,700 miles, when I encountered a flat battery. At the time, I thought it was just due to me inflating the tyres with a 12-volt socket and tyre inflator without turning the engine on. However, in November 2022, the Cactus had its 6-year service and MOT at 46,229 miles, or 4,460 miles in my care. Later in November, the flat battery issue reappeared. So a new battery was bought and fitted at 4,754 miles. This never resolved the issue, and it turns out to be the smart alternator at fault. Basically, it's a common issue on the PureTech engines, where a signal sent from the alternator to the ECU and then sent to the battery to regulate the voltage. Apparently the issue is that the ECU needs an update. So at the moment, the multi-plug on the alternator is disconnected, allowing the battery to charge. So, how much does it cost to run the Cactus from April to December? So my costs include fuel, modifications, screen wash, parking in Edinburgh, repairs, insurance, and it cost me £2,277. As of the 7th of January 2023, no costs on the Cactus have been incurred. So, here's a few things I like about the Cactus. The Cactus is easy to drive. It's got cheap road tax at £20 a year. I like the air bumps on the car. I think it adds a lot of character, and when you see the later Cactuses, they sort of lose that appeal because they've moved the air bumps down to the bottom of the door. I like the basicness of the car. It's something simple and enjoyable about a car that's not well equipped. It sort of takes you back to basics. But the basicness also is a thing I hate as well. So I've already said that I hated steel wheels in the car, for example. I hate the fact that the infotainment system doesn't have Bluetooth. So it doesn't have Bluetooth, it doesn't have phone capability, so I can't stream my music directly to the infotainment system. I actually have to use a Bluetooth adapter to stream my music or take a phone call. But I don't use my phone in the car very often, and I don't use the Bluetooth function of the phone. I just carry a USB stick. One thing I've also hated is the after sales from the dealership. I find the dealership it's quite awkward when you phone up, say, Peugeot, who basically is the same car, share the same engines, and they'd rather you go to Citroen themselves. But my problem is the Citroen dealership is on the other side of Edinburgh, and it's not in the best of places to say you can hang around for a while. I'm going to say I like the touch screen. I'm going to explain why. So we have the touch screen here. Now, I've always been against touch screens, and I still have to admit I do not like the touch screen the way it just sticks out like a tablet on a dashboard. But I like the touch screen on this because it's the basic entry-level version. There's not a lot of features on here, so there's no like reverse camera, there's no sat nav. It is really simple. Basically, you've got your heater function, you've got your music function, so you can either have your music on, and you've also got the heater control just up the top with a heating tab up here, which you can adjust, and it'll bring up another menu. You've got the car infotainment system. Again, you've got the car details like trip, fuel count, what's left in the tank, and your trips. Then you've got your heater, as I said, and then you've also got your music up here. You can see what you're listening to. So up here you'd have your radio, or say your USB stick. So it's really quite simple. And you can actually push down on that, and you can select, and then go back, and it takes just back to the heating controls. So what I normally do with this car is, I'll just come back up, that's better. So what I normally do is I'll just have this sitting on the heating controls all times, and I've got my music up at the top of the display so I can see what I'm doing. I'm not having to go into another menu to go into my music, if that makes any sense. So I like the touch screen, and I also dislike it. I like it for its functions, I dislike it simply because it just looks tacked on. I really don't like the clutch in this car, and it seems to be a common issue with Cactus owners, is that the clutch seems to drag when you move off, as if you've not got the biting point, and when you move off it sort of judders or drags. That seems to be quite a common theme on the Cactus owners forums. I've been driving cars for 22 years now, and I've never had a clutch like this before. So I'm just putting that down to a characteristic of the Cactus, and hopefully we won't have any clutch issues anytime soon. So that's just a brief 5,000 mile report from April to December 2022. I'll report back in another 5,000 miles at some point later in the year with the Cactus and see how well it's doing then. But I just thought I'd do this little video just as a little update, a few things I like and a few things I hate. And we'll see if these things change or there's other things I can add to the list. Anyhow, I'd just like to thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe at Scottish Car Enthusiasts and Trains TV. And we'll catch you in a future video very soon. Farewell.